Hi, it's Carolee, and I'm here to talk with you today about the wild nature of your inner wise woman. Now, there's several different ways in which this wild nature presents itself. There's the aggressive wild woman. There's the, can you hear that crane, by the way? It's a wild crane over there. So there's the aggressive wild woman, there's the repressive wild woman, and then there's the true grounded wild woman who's in tune with nature and the wilderness and the rhythms of the world. So the aggressive wild woman is sort of like the whoa wild woman, like she's a little too much. She tries way too hard. She's not entering into that crone stage very gracefully. You could say she's a cougar, but I don't want to say it's a woman who's attracted to younger men, because I do think there are plenty of wise women that can have a wonderful and rewarding relationship with a much younger man. But the aggressive wild woman who is trying to prove her worth as a wise woman and a wild woman, she has something to prove, and that's why she's with a younger man. That's your aggressive side. And by the way, when you're trying to prove something, you're held captive. So you actually truly aren't wild, because you're held captive by trying to prove, because you don't believe that you really are what it is that you're trying to be. So you're held captive. And then there's the repressive side of the wild woman, that sort of like a Stepford wife that always does what she should. And I like to talk about this repressive side of the wild woman as someone that wears a should shroud. And a shroud is a piece of linen usually that a dead body is wrapped in. And shroud also indicates something that obscures vision. And I really think when you're stuck in shitting on yourself all the time, that your vision is obscured to your true desire and what it is that you really want in your life. And you wear this shroud because you're dead to who it is you really are inside. So you're wearing the should shroud. So you don't want to be the repressive side of the wild woman, and you definitely don't want to be the aggressive side and trying to prove something. You want to be the wild. You want to have a connection to that wild side of you that's in tune with nature, that goes with the flow, that follows the rhythms naturally. So I really like to think, when I'm thinking of connecting with that wild side of me, of the majestic beauty of female animals in the wild. So think of a lioness, or my favorite animal right now, because I live in Alaska, is killer whales. Killer whales live in matriarchal pods, and the oldest female is in charge of that pod, and the health of that pod and the connection of that pod. And these wild animals aren't trying too hard. They're not worried about proving anything. And they're definitely not doing anything because they think they should. They're so connected to their wild nature that they're out, eating when they want to eat, swimming as fast as they want to swim, jumping and breaching and hunting and doing all of those things, traversing across the world, migrating when they want to migrate, when it's time to come and go. These are the beautiful rhythms of the wild woman that you need to be in touch with. And the more that you can spend time in nature and out in the wild, the more you're going to be able to get in touch with that grounded, beautiful, majestic, wild woman within.